Well, Sweet Trading Cards here once again. Back with another PSA reveal. This is 2 in 1 week, which is kind of crazy. Of course, these were sent at the same time. This is just a small order, 5-card value plus. I had paid a little bit more to hopefully get them back sooner. Unfortunately, I sent this along with 3 bulk orders, and I got two of the bulk orders, the 2 sports ones, back before I even got this one. So kind of defeated the purpose of me paying extra, which is frustrating. I think more than the price increases and the delays and stuff, it's just the inconsistency with PSA that's the most frustrating to me. I'm just on a small rant here, but you know, it's hard to plan. You know, you got cards that you want to get back at a certain time, and it's just really hard to be able to plan around it. Unfortunately, it's frustrating for sure, especially when, you know, sports cards are very seasonal, and we're talking multiple months at this point, or more. And one would say, yeah, just send the bulk because they're going faster. But the next order that I sent, the bulk ones are really, looks like they're getting bogged down and way behind. So it's not like my luck of getting those 2 bulk orders back relatively quickly was beneficial either. So anyways, I don't want to get too much into that there. This is a quick order, only 5 cards. At the end, I do want to kind of go over my grading strategy a little bit. If you're interested in that, you're definitely welcome to hang around, and we'll go over like some of that information and stuff, okay? But let's go ahead and get these revealed here. There are some TCG One Piece in here, so if you're mainly watch for the sports, I apologize. But there are 3 sports cards in here too, so there we go. Let's go ahead and pull those out. So 5 cards here. First up, we have Matthew Stafford, Topps Chrome. Base chrome, not refractor. So this was something I had picked up early in the fall, and then he kind of went on the his run and started getting the MVP notice and stuff like that, and went up. So I did send it in with the hopes of maybe getting it back close to Super Bowl time. But obviously that didn't happen. We're almost a month afterwards, so at least a few weeks. But anyways, card looked pretty clean. I didn't really expect it to get a 10. Would have been nice if it did. I think it had a very small chance. But I did kind of expect a 9 on that, and that is what we got. So pretty nice card there. Even in a 9, we're going to make a pretty decent profit, as you'll probably see when I pop up the numbers there. So that's a nice one. Next up, I got a couple Macklin Celebrinis. These are his O-Pee-Chee Platinum. If you're unfamiliar with hockey, this is basically like the Topps Chrome of hockey cards. And so this is the rainbow. So essentially this is like your Topps Chrome refractor. And his cards have been going crazy. They had been going crazy, and then the Olympics hit, and he led the Olympics in goals, and they're even going more crazy. So these, you know, yes, if had I had him in the Olympics, probably would have been a little bit higher, as they have kind of settled a little bit after that, but they're still going for crazy amounts. So I don't even know that they've settled necessarily. They're probably still going up, to be honest. Anyways, this one looked pretty good. These are pretty easy to tell centering because you see these 2 lines that go up to the corners. If they don't make it, the card's not centered. So if one of them doesn't. So you'll see a lot of these cards where they're pretty offset. This one looked pretty good, and it did reward me with the 10 there. So as I'm recording this, I've already sold this card for over 525, I think is what the final sale price was. So pretty nice hit there. We had picked this up before they started to go up the most. So, I mean, right now you're going to pay about 120 for these, I think, is roughly the going rate. And we got them for 50, probably both these cards. Again, you're looking at the numbers that I post up there, and probably more memorable than me, but we did get them for a pretty good rate. And there, this is the sunset version of the same card. I really like this one because not only is it just a different treatment, but also if you look in the background, you can see there, instead of being in the hockey rink, like if you look at this one's in the hockey rink, and you can see the fans there. This one actually has a sunset in the background, and you got the ocean, and really kind of cool. You got some clouds in there. So they changed that. There's another really cool one called Pond Hockey. It's an SSP out of these, and it's basically on a winter ice skating rink. So really kind of cool. The way they do those versus just adding a different color layer. But anyways, this one also very similar to that. It's gone up quite a bit. We got it relatively cheap. Unfortunately, this one did get the 9. Still, one of these in a 9 just recently sold for about $230. So we're going to make a pretty good profit on that, as you'll see when I flash the numbers up there. So that's the 3 sports cards out of here. And then we do have a couple One Piece. These are the ones I'm probably most disappointed to get back late because they spiked really hard in January, and they're starting to come down. And the values of these are probably half of what they would have been had I gotten these a few weeks earlier, as I had expected. It's kind of crazy. The boom for One Piece really kind of started about Black Friday weekend. And so in the time to procure the cards and get them graded, if you didn't pay express or anything, you're probably getting the cards after the whole boom's ended. They're still higher than they were, and One Piece grade really well. And I think there's still some good long-term value in it with that, very popular franchise and stuff. So I do expect at some point they're just kind of in a, kind of catch-up phase here, and then I think they'll go back up. But anyways, this is the TCG SP. Special alternate art out of OP12, and I really kind of like these constellation-ish style cards here. There's a few of them. My daughter and I got these 2 out of a box that we opened of the OP12, so the 2 cards that we're showing today. And this one did get a 10. Like I said, these gem really high. They're all like 90% plus gem rates. Some of them, they're tripped down into 88, 85 now that more people are grading them. Since the One Piece boom, but still, that's crazy percentages for what you're looking at there. And this card peaked at about $350. It's probably about $170, $180 card right now. So, like I said, we've lost a lot of the value on those, but I'm still pretty profitable on that. So, with that, and then here we got another one. This is the Boof Burst Sanji's. These are what are called the event manga. So event cards are basically like the moves of the characters and stuff in the game, and then they have special manga versions of them. And this is one of those. They're relatively rare, but not super rare. They're not as rare as like the normal mangas that you may hear about. But this card peaked at about 500, just under 500 at its highest sell during the recent explosion in One Piece there, and now it's down to about 200. So again, a card that's lost a lot of its value, but we did get a 10, which is great. So just like the one Macklin, I've actually already sold that, and it got 190 is what I sold it for. So between those two, I think I'm already ahead on this order between what I bought all the cards for and grading costs and everything. So that's kind of nice. Anyways, quick order. Like I said, I gotta get these cards out today and do all that. But I did want to go over a little bit of my grading strategies here. If you're interested, just to kind of what I'm doing, since we've seen the increase in PSA times as well as costs. I'm one that likes to grade kind of lower end cards. Grab a $5, $10, $20 card, grade it, and turn it into $100. Those tend to move a little bit faster sometimes for me. There's a lot more people that can afford a $100 card than can afford like a $500 card. Obviously, this order is more expensive stuff, but unfortunately, this is kind of where I got to go with the PSA stuff more now, is more value into the cards, less into the grading because the grading costs have increased so much. The problem with that is when I'm buying those more expensive cards, I generally, one, your risk is higher because you need less cards, you need more of them to gem. So one not gemming or one getting a bad grade is going to be more detrimental to your overall profit because there's less cards in the order. Two, you generally want those more valuable cards back quicker. And as you can see, even with paying extra, I've got, these are taking longer than the declared wait time, so that's not really helping me. And with that, I've got another order that I sent out on the regular. It's just a single card, but it was, that's $75 a card to grade, and more, I think now. I think the grade's at $5 too. And it's going to be late. They got 5 days and it's still sitting in grading. So we don't have assembly, we don't have QA checks, we don't have any of that, unless they just completely rush that order. I'm fully expecting that one to be late. And that's, you pay the higher amount for these cards like this one. Had I just put these in my bulk orders, I would have had them back already. And I don't know that any of these actually would have caused an upcharge anyways, so it wasn't that I was avoiding upcharges, or expecting that. So maybe the Macklin would have been a little bit over 500. This one in a 10 might have been, because I think that's over 500, but even then it would have just been up to the next, the next tier. Not really that much of an upcharge. The biggest reason I sent them faster is I wanted them back sooner, and I didn't get that. So I'm not getting that there. I'm exploring CGC a little bit. I did send an order off to there of hockey cards that is in grading right now, and kind of doing a little experiment there. Hockey cards might be the toughest one because, there's lesser hockey fans, so they're probably more harder to move off of, the gradings and stuff. That may not be true. We'll see. It's a lot of lower end cards. But cards that are selling for like over $200, they're all Macklins. In fact, it's just two different types of cards, but they're all selling for like over 200 in a 10. They had a high gem rate, like 70% plus gem rate. And I figured if I get them back CGC and get a decent amount of 10s, I should expecting to be able to sell them for at least 100. If the PSA 10s are going for over 200. And then if I get any pristine 10s and stuff, then obviously those will be even higher in that. So I'm kind of experimenting there, looking at sending more in my lower end. I might move a lot more of my total grading over there if I'm seeing that I'm getting a decent percentage of what the PSA values are. The reason for that is if I'm getting them back that much sooner and I can consistently, plan around that, the turnover over the course of time, I'm going to make more money, even though the PSA values are higher. So that's kind of my thought process there with CGC. I'm still going to do PSA for like the bigger cards, and I'm going to target more bigger cards, case hits, lower numbered stuff, things like that. Raise my raw level from $15, $20 a card to $50 to $100, and some more than that. Like I bought a Macklin Young Guns for $400, 300. We got it for $325, but right now they're running about $450 roughly. So tempted to just flip it at this point, but the graded ones are selling for in 10s are selling for like 1900. Doesn't have a great gem rate though, so I'm generally trying to avoid that. One thing I am really kind of finding is sapphire stuff for baseball and now basketball. Just the base sapphire cards tend to have a really good multiplier and usually have a pretty good gem rate. So things that I've been looking at are like some Nick Kurtz sapphire, both Bowman and Tops. Also Bobby Witt. I've been looking at some Bobby Witt sapphire stuff and some of those things, as well as I just recently bought a bunch of black and white stuff because they have really high gem rates. So I'm looking for high gem rate, good multiplier. Obviously, that's kind of what you're always looking for, but I've had to even further push for that. So anyways, that's just kind of my thoughts on that at this point. Definitely let me know if you have any further info, things that you're doing, comments on what I had there. And if you could, give this video a like and subscribe. I don't get much interaction on my videos, so I see people are watching, but I don't get likes, I don't get many comments, so just wondering, you know, who's watching out there, and if, you know, just give me a like or give me a quick comment and say, hey, nice job, you know, and it helps me know that people are enjoying it and that I can keep doing this, because in reality, recording the videos at this point, other than just taking some time and stuff and having a way to keep that on there, it'd be nice to get some other feedback and stuff on what I'm doing, what I could do better. I know I'm not the most entertaining person on the videos, but try to have fun with it and stuff. So anyways, yeah, let me know. And once again, this has been Sweet Trading Cards, and thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. All right, bye.